share a screen with you with regard to a master's research that I had done on dignity. And it was so amazing that from all the thousands of research done on dignity, one thing that stood out for us as South Africans is that that there was a deep faith and trust in something intangible in God. And so I'm not sure if you can see the screen. So yes, that's the fortune of living in this space where we so openly can speak about a higher energy, because when all else crumbles around us, we have to turn within, we have to turn upward. And so in my master's research, with patients with advanced cancer, when everything was crumbling around them. If you look at this diagram, biologically, their health was suffering. Sorry, I'm just trying to move this. And psychologically facing lots of fears about death, and also then socially, their entire world being thrown into chaos, having to come in all their relations, financially, and also culturally facing many challenges. So when individuals were faced with all of these challenges, it was so amazing, all these challenges, and it's as if your world is being shattered. It's then that one accepts and lets go and turns within, and then reinforces these non-tangible aspects of life. And that is knowing who I really am and connecting to a source of power, because I cannot achieve that power here. And Anna also shared how that was the beginning of her shift in her life, when everything was crumbling, relationships, finances, so many challenges. And that was when she found her inner power. And she stepped into that inner power, and her greatest source of support was that, that is the experience with many, that when I am challenged and when there's absolutely no light left in my life, that is when I'll make a breakthrough to experience the light that I am and the light of God. And so this was a research that was especially done in South Africa with regard to individuals from diverse walks and socioeconomic backgrounds, and the realization and the conclusion was that if the core experience of our intrinsic dignity is firm and affirmed, it ripples out to then influence all domains of the untouchable human being. And so those who, despite going through all these challenges, their body failing, I remember I had a young girl, 34, HIV positive from blood transfusions as a baby, with possibly 6 fractures, in her adult diaper, lying in her room, in an air-conditioned room, with this notice on her door: if you don't like the air conditioning, then do not enter. I thought, wow, this is some individual I'm going to meet as I entered her room. And such autonomy, because she knew who she was, with everything failing around her. As a young girl, being diagnosed and on lots of medication and repeated blood transfusion, multiple fractures, blind from susceptible infections, despite all of that, she held a power of spirit that I've never seen with many, and so really such an inspiration. And when we spoke, she had such deep self-worth, such dignity, and she always referred to that letting go, how she's had to learn to adjust to being dependent, how as long as she could, she maintained her autonomy and chose to live how she would want to live, not at the mercy of others, and an amazing individual of amazing spirit. And one thing that really supported her was her faith and trust in God. And then another individual, really going through difficult times at government hospitals, but despite that, he maintained such an amazing power of character that even though he had the advanced cancer, he made everyone in the ward and in the hospitals laugh and brought such joy, because he connected to who he was. And instead of being influenced and affected by the heavy environment he had to be in with the heaviness of his diagnosis, he maintained a lightness of spirit, knowing that there is benefit even in this, and that he will persevere. And his strength was his faith as well. And so many examples of courage that stems from that deep faith and trust in a higher being, in a higher energy. And so I wanted to read to you something beautiful about faith from Daddy Janki. And so Daddy Janki shared, when I decided to devote my life to God and took up the appropriate lifestyle for this, people laughed at me. Women in those days were simple and not allowed to do such things in India. So people laughed, saying, we'll see how she will manage. We will see how long she lasts. She must be crazy. I was 19 years old then, and I remember saying, God, no matter what happens to me, I am going to be your true and proper child. Even if the entire world is on one side and I am alone on the other, I am going to be yours. And I could feel God's response. She has nobody, so she has me. To which I said, yes, I have no one except you. And really showing us again, when there's no light left, we then can access the power of God. And she shares, my experience is that sweet conversations like this keep God very close to you. Even though God is very elevated and his qualities and virtues are the highest of all, still, you are his child. You are his child. He is your parent. You belong to each other. Shouldn't it therefore be possible for you to know him as he really is? And so really checking, is there that faith that I am a child of that divine energy? Can I just, like a child, go into the lap and experience everything that my supreme parent has to offer to the whole world? As a child, I belong. As a child, I have all rights. What is my father's is mine. And for this, Daddy says, it's so important to know him as he really is. Do we spend the rest of time thinking about everyone and everything when there's this highest eternal parent waiting for the child to come to the parent to give that child everything that the child needs? And so do I get distracted, affected, influenced by everything and everyone? Or do I come to that parent and let go and let God? And so Daddy shares, knowing previously while praying to God, I used to say, okay, God, this is it. Now tell me, are you going to come to me or am I going to come to you? I'd be very stubborn like that. So Daddy Janki, a little dynamite with a lot of spunk. I also used to feel that I would recognize him the moment he came. I felt sure I would know when it was him. I imagined that some ancient part of me would start speaking and saying, yes, now I have found what I was looking for. When one day, when at last that day did come, the day I had been waiting for so long. And this was exactly the experience I had. It was exactly this sound and feeling that emerged from deep within my heart. And so it's so beautiful, to have that internal dialogue, to have those sweet conversations, and to have that sincere yearning to know truth, to know the divine. And then one day, for sure, this will be your experience. And it's not, it won't be something very gross, but like Dadi shared, she had this feeling from deep within and a sound from deep within that helped her recognize that she is the child of that divine. And I wanted to share with you some thoughts on faith and trust that she shared. The voice of faith is so necessary. So the voice of faith is so necessary. If you maintain your faith whilst managing all your other duties, you hasten that moment when God reveals himself to you. And so in life, a lot will happen. One has many roles, many responsibilities, many relationships. And in all of that, the voice of faith is so necessary. In all that I do, in all that I have to be, can I maintain my faith while managing all my duties? And then I will hasten that moment when God will reveal himself to me. If the pulse of your desire is intense, God can come to you right here and right now. I love that point that she shared. If the pulse of your desire is intense, so your pure yearning is really intense and concentrated and focused, God will come to you right here and right now. It's just about the absoluteness of the experience. It is not even a matter of who has come to whom. It's about the absoluteness of the experience. No matter who, the one thing within us all is deep yearning to experience God. This deep desire is in itself the way to know God. This is the path we shall share. We all share. And so really the path we all share is intuitively. We all have faith that there is a higher energy. And if I can hold on to that faith with deep concentration and focus, no matter what I have to do, no matter what the distractions, if I aim towards my destination and I hold on to that, I will then get success. There will then be that fruition in my labor. And so the one thing missing from the lives of us all is the same. The sorrow and happiness of all, no matter what the caste, creed, or color, is the same. what we are all searching for is the same. We are all searching for that divine truth and love and beauty, and we can attain that. And she shares, at a certain point in our search, after all the scriptures have been studied and there still has not been any personal meeting with God, finally we turn to God and say, okay, God, now you have to reveal yourself to me. You show me the path. And God says, forget everything you know of this world. And then the sweet fruit of all your yearning and all your faith begins to emerge. The search comes to an end. So does the desperation. And we say, thank you, God. This is what I wanted. I wanted nothing else except that in my eyes should be your light, and that this light should show others the path to you too. And so Anna is a lovely testimony of that as well. And so really, as we continue to hold on to that focus, aiming towards my destination with that deep yearning to experience God in my life, and that absolute experience will come to be. And it is a common yearning that we all have. And so can I keep that focus on who I am and who I belong to and why I am here? And with that faith, just take one step at a time with my companion. And when I watch the wonders that then come into my life, I then begin to trust God. And so it begins with faith, faith in myself, faith in that divine. And as I build that faith and I experience the return of that faith, naturally then there comes the trust. And then I walk with God at every step with absolute trust as a carefree child that everything will be taken care of. I can then trust my Father and that eternal parent. And so it's so important to experiment with this faith, this letting go, to experience the divine. And I remember somebody had shared that, they kept asking God, why are you not playing a part in my life? But they were so engaged in constantly trying to control their life with immense fear. And so that is what happens to us. We want a divine intervention, but as long as we are holding on and not letting go, how can I allow that divine intervention into my life? And so it begins with that letting go and having faith. And once I can have that faith, then trust develops and a beautiful relationship is created between the child and the parent. And so I want to share with you a point that will be wonderful for all of us to practice today together. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. I don't think so. So I'll share screen. And so today we especially want you to focus on this point. Today, I will let go and let God, and I will watch the wonders in my life. So today, I will let go and let God, and I will watch the wonders in my life. And so this image of somebody just floating on the ocean, And so can I just let go? And when to float on the ocean, you really have to let go. If there's any tension in any of your muscles, if there's any fear, you sink. But when you just allow your body to be light and relax every muscle, just absolutely letting go of control, then you will float. And so for me, it's an amazing image of how I can let go and let God, and then to watch the wonders in my life. And as I said, we live in a beautiful atmosphere where many have experienced and reinforced for us the importance of the divine and the importance of having faith in that divine, no matter what is happening around us. And definitely because of all the potential hardship that we have had to face, there is light in the darkness. And even if I've had failed relationships, failed aspects of all parts of my life, it is that has helped me develop that faith and that trust in the one constant companion and that constant energy that can never fail me. And so I loved in our advanced class today, it is said that God is the seed, and in that seed is all attainments and all relationships. And I smile to think that I have such a magical seed. Anything I have is in that seed. So anything I want is in that seed. So if I want peace, God, the ocean of peace, can give me that peace. If I want love, God, the ocean of love, can supply me with that love. And it's just a matter of me opening myself up to that energy. And that seed is also complete in the best of all relationships. And how often we get disappointed because we can't get what we want from the world. And ultimately, we're all after love, peace, power, joy, or we get disappointed with the people in our lives, and we have expectations of others. But can I know that everything I want from anyone or anything, I can have from this master seed, this tiniest yet most powerful energy that is available to I, this being of energy. And so hold this master seed close today and enjoy all attainments and all relationships, the relationship of the unconditionally loving mother, the father that is always there, creating such security so that you can be the best of yourself, the most beautiful friend that is always available and supportive and helps you grow in your journey, the beloved that takes care and meets the need of the self, and the teacher, the guide. That being can be everything you need to fulfill all relationships and all needs. And so today, can I work on my faith and trust in God? Today I will let go and let God, and I will watch the wonders in my life. So if you're feeling a little bit tense about anything today, or you're trying to control anything today, just let go, become that light, connect to that supreme light, and let go, let God, and then watch the wonder of that light in your life. And so I was just thinking how nature is so natural, and this is my natural state of being. But when I try and control and I have fear, how I then create chaos in my world. And so let go, let God, learn from nature and be light, be easy, connect to that light and watch the light and wonder in my life. So, is there any questions before I do a meditation? So today we're going to experiment with deepening that faith and my experiences with the divine. I'm going to let go and let God and watch the wonders in my life. Any questions? Any comments? Any testimonies? I know you all have an amazing wealth of experience in this topic. And I think we still have not explored the depth of this relationship, like Dadi Janki has shared. So let me guide you then through a meditation. So I sit comfortably and relax. And in all that is to be today, I switch on this light of my inner power. I step into this inner power as this brilliant, beautiful child. And as a child, I come into that lap of the divine. I totally let go and surrender into this ocean of love and security. I am a rightful child. I do belong. And as this child, I totally let go. I will do what I have to do today. But in all the doing, I will focus on being this light in the company of a supportive, powerful light. And the return of that focus and concentration is that I will have sweet experiences all day of the guidance and support and the strength and the magic and the wonder of light in my life. All I have to do is let go and let God. And I have faith that the best will be in this moment and every moment that is to be. The past is the past. The present is a moment of faith and trust that every future moment will be absolutely perfect, because in this moment, I am connected to the absolute, the one and only anchor for everyone, all children, 7.8 billion children of that divine. Om Shanti. So thank you everyone, and have a powerful day experimenting with letting go, letting God, and watching the wonder in your life. And thank you to our hosts who beautifully led us into this topic. And thank you to Dadi Janki for her very live and authentic sharing of her journey of faith and trust. And really, at the age of 104, she was one of the wisdom keepers of the world, and really an amazing individual who, because of her deep faith and trust in God, accomplished the impossible. It was her stepping out of India in 1974 to London that was the seed of the Brahma Kumaris in 134 countries and 8,000 centers throughout the world. And it was only her faith and trust in God that made miracles happen. And she had nothing, absolutely nothing but the power of God. Thank you, Arunaben.